Let's talk a minute.
I'm calling to order this hearing. This is a public roundtable that's being jointly conducted by the Committee as a whole, which I chair, and the Committee on Executive Administration and Labor, which Councilmember Anita Bonds chairs. This is a joint public roundtable on PR 26-494, which is entitled Collective Bargaining Agreement between the University of the District of Columbia and the Service Employees International Union, Local 500, CTW Approval Resolution of 2025. This legislation is to approve a collective bargaining agreement that the mayor submitted to the council on Thursday, December 18th. And we are having this roundtable rather quickly because under the law, these collective bargaining agreements are deemed approved after 30 days, 30 calendar days. And I have learned from experience that sometimes the documents that are submitted to the council don't reflect exactly what either the union or management expected. And so I'm hopeful that what we have before us for consideration, everybody's in agreement with, but that's what we will find out. And if everybody's in agreement, then this will be a short hearing. To read from the hearing notice, the purpose of today's roundtable is to receive testimony regarding the negotiated collective bargaining agreement between the University of the District of Columbia and SEIU Local 500. The CBA covers terms and conditions of employment as well as compensation for all adjunct faculty paid by the course and employed by the University of the District of Columbia for the period October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2028, which suggests it's a 3-year contract or collective bargaining agreement. The record in this matter will close at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's Tuesday, January 6th. That's because I believe we placed this on the agenda, legislative agenda for the council tomorrow. So today really is about just making sure that there are no issues with the documents that have been submitted. Let me turn to my colleague, co-chair, Councilmember Anita Bonds, if you have an opening statement.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. I'm pleased that the University of the District of Columbia and Service Employees International Local 500 have reached an agreement and finalized the contract before us today. The collective bargaining agreement for University of the District of Columbia adjunct faculty, as you stated, is for a 3-year period, and it will provide a total of $412,981 in adjustments and fringe benefits. Having a contract in place provides important continuity, stability, and clarity, which reflects upon both parties' shared commitment to maintaining a respectful and thriving workplace. This agreement addresses working conditions and the contents of a compensation package for employee members of SEIU, and it includes the cost of living and adjustments in 2026. And finally, it's important that faculty and staff at the university are inclusive of the adjunct faculty members play a critical role in invoking curiosity, hoping for an unfettered future and professionalism within and with their student body. I'm expecting this agreement to foster continued collaboration and serve as a tool for recruitment and retention of strong talent, academic competitiveness, and additional success of our state university. And with that, I look forward to our discussion today. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Co-Chair Bonds. We have 2 witnesses, Rebecca Dayton, Director of Representation at Service Employees International Union Local 500. She will be followed by Scott Krosick, who is Senior Associate Chief Academic Officer for Academic Programs at the University of the District of Columbia. They are both participating virtually. If we could hear from Ms. Dayton.
Good evening. How are you today?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. As you stated, my name is Rebecca Drayton. I am the Director of Representation for SEIU Local 500. I would like to thank Chairman Mendelson and the members of the committee for inviting us to testify regarding the collective bargaining agreement between the University of District of Columbia and SEIU Local 500. I was the lead negotiator for the adjuncts, assisted by Michael Donaldson and Patricia George, who are two of the adjunct professors who work at UDC. We began our negotiations in August of 2024 and concluded in April of 2025. It was ratified by the SEIU adjuncts shortly thereafter. I would like to thank the team from UDC, especially Scott Krosick, and if I said his name incorrectly, I apologize, Scott, for working so cooperatively with SEIU to negotiate respectfully and in good faith and reach a tentative agreement. Negotiations did take a little longer than expected, but that was not the fault of UDC, nor frankly the DC Council. It was due to some of the uncertainties around the budget that DC faced under the current administration. The agreement between SEIU and UDC improves compensation for adjuncts and will make it easier for UDC to attract and retrain quality adjuncts. The new collective bargaining agreement includes a new minimum amount of compensation per credit, general wage adjustments, and a retention bonus. UDC provides a vital service for the Washington, D.C. community, and SEIU is proud to be associated with that. SEIU Local 500 also appreciates the respect that UDC has shown to the adjuncts during negotiations and with this new agreement. We really do look forward to continuing our work with UDC in the future. Again, I would like to thank you and the council for your support of the University of District of Columbia and for allowing me to testify today. I'm of course happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding the collective bargaining agreement between UDC and SEIU. And I will note that Mr. Krosick has more of the details of the agreement in his testimony as well.
Thank you, Ms. Drayton, and I mispronounced your name at the beginning, saying Dayton instead of Drayton, so forgive me for
No
that.
worries.
I do have a couple questions for you, and then I'll turn to Mr. Krosick. You were the lead negotiator for the union,
Yes,
and I assume you've looked at the documents that are before the council,
yes,
and so the documents reflect what you all agreed to.
yes, they do.
Okay. I mean, I've learned that the documents get put together after the bargaining, so I want
They
to make
do,
sure.
but Mr. Krosick shared what he put together. We proofed them together, so we are in agreement as to what we are presenting.
Excellent. Let me, Councilmember Bonds, do you have any questions at this point, or do you want to?
No, thank you very much for that testimony. Thank you.
Of course.
So then let's hear from Mr. Krosick, and then there might be a few more questions.
Thank you, Chair Mendelson, Chair Bonds, members of the Committee of the Whole, and staff. Good afternoon. I am Scott Krosick, Senior Associate Chief Academic Officer for Academic Programs at the University of the District of Columbia. This is the second time that I've served as the university's lead negotiator during SEIU union contract negotiations, having testified alongside my colleague, Rebecca Drayton, in January of 2024 as well. I'm once again pleased to testify on behalf of the university about the negotiations and the resulting contract. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the university's negotiation team members, for they were critical to the success of this process. They are Avis Russell, General Counsel, Ricardo Brown, Professor of Public Health and Causes, Catherine Bruce, Manager of Employee and Labor Relations, Sean Celio, Vice President of Human Relations, William Hacker, Associate Dean in the Community College, and Calvin Stover, Director of Employee and Labor Relations. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the colleagues with whom we negotiated this contract, a process that was respectful and collegial throughout. They are Rebecca Drayton, the SEIU Representative Lead Negotiator, Patricia George, Adjunct Professor in our General Education program, and Michael Donaldson, Adjunct Professor at the Community College. Negotiation meetings formally began on September 6, 2024, and were held approximately every 2 to 3 weeks until the final meeting and tentative agreement reached on April 11th, 2025. However, as previously mentioned, the district's temporary budget freeze last spring put the process on hold through the summer. The article that received primary attention and modification was Article 15, which is compensation. The only other modifications to the contract, or the only other modification, singular, is an assurance by the university to make good faith effort to implement automated withdrawal of the SEIU dues through the PeopleSoft system. In terms of compensation, President Eddington expressed his commitment to support the union with pay increases to the extent budgetarily feasible. Once the budget picture clarified, UDC finance officials from the Office of the Chief Operating Officer calculated scenarios that ultimately resulted in support for 4 provisions in Article 15. 1, a new minimum per credit salary rate. 2, a cost of living adjustment in the second year. 3, an increased course cancellation fee. And 4, a continuous service bonus. In year 1, the new minimum compensation per credit is $1,200. In year 2, that minimum will be raised again to $1,260 per credit hour, and all adjuncts in the union will receive a 2.5% COLA. In year 3, the per credit amount remains the same, and there are no other changes. But the one-time bonus for continuous service is something we felt obligated and really honored to do, because we have so many loyal adjuncts who've been long serving with us. And so that payment is going to be retroactive as fiscal year 26, will be paid to select adjuncts who fit the categories of continuous service 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years at $500, $1,000, and $1,500 respectively. The UDC Board of Trustees approved the proposed contract on November 13th, 2025. In conclusion, I would just like to say that the UDC adjunct professor pool, all of them, upon whom we rely significantly across all programs at the undergraduate, graduate, and the non-degree levels, are invaluable contributors to the life of the university. They are not only great teachers and mentors to our students, they are role models on our campuses and contribute to UDC's mission in myriad ways, including student learning assessment, course and curriculum development, and accreditation activities at both the program and the institutional level. We are fortunate to have such dedicated and talented professionals in our ranks, and very grateful for their service to the university and its students. The university looks forward to working with the union in the year ahead to implement agreed upon objectives and to continue to improve the experience and satisfaction of our adjunct faculty here at UDC. On behalf of UDC, I'd like to thank you and the council for your ongoing support and for the opportunity to testify here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that your committee members may have.
Thank you, Dr. Is it pronounced Krasek?
It is. Well done.
Thank you. Well, it helps how it was spelled. The documents that we have reflect your understanding and are accurate.
Yes, they do.
Okay. And my understanding from your testimony is that the reason it took so long between April, when the tentative agreement was reached, and November 13th, when the UDC trustees voted to approve this, is primarily waiting for all of the budget cloudiness to get resolved?
Yes, that is correct.
Councilmember Bonds, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Doctor, for your comments, helping us to understand this agreement. I wanted to just inquire about the number of adjunct instructors that are covered in this agreement. I note that the agreement makes reference to approximately 99. Can you help me understand why we're saying approximately 99?
It depends, Chair Bonds, on that one thing is the continuous service. So some adjuncts come and go, and so they may be here for a fall semester, and then we may not see them again until the next spring semester, as an example. So the number is never constant. And on any given semester, the number may rise as high as 200 contracts. But the contracts may be 200, reflective of 99 people, right? So I think we calculated based on what was an exact number at the time of 99, but that number does fluctuate.
Thank you. That helps me understand also the point that you're making in number 4, continuous service bonus, and you say select adjuncts. And so I think I understand that now. I was very curious about that. Just want to make sure that for those who may be curious about our hearing today, that they understand what we are doing, because this does include public dollars.
Absolutely.
And so this is kind of important to us. I wanted to also ask, does this agreement cover all UDC programs, including graduate programs?
Yes, it does, Chair Bonds,
Okay.
indeed, and the law school as well.
Excellent, excellent. So when we talk about the membership of the union, this is Local 500, we're talking beyond the 99 approximate adjunct members. Am I correct?
Well,
Or
yes,
is this, is Local 500 exclusive for adjunct professors at the University of the District of Columbia?
I see my colleague has maybe helpfully jumped in, so I will
Yes.
defer to Rebecca.
When you look at who represents the adjuncts, yes, SEIU Local 500 is the exclusive representation for adjuncts at UDC. I don't know if that completely answers your question. If not, please definitely let me know what clarification you need.
Yes, no, I believe it does. And so that tells me, how many members do you count as members of a Local 500 then?
Well, when you talk about the contract applies to all adjuncts at UDC, whether they are actually a dues paying member or not. I don't have the exact number of members in front of me. I'd be happy to have my member services people pull that up, and I can send that to you later if you would like.
That would be helpful, because I would then, of course, be curious as to the percent of the membership that are DC residents. You know, I'm gung ho about DC residents, so I have to ask these kinds of questions, wanting to know just how strong we are as residents of our community, participating in the outstanding programming that I feel the university performs for our residents and others who take advantage from the region. So
I would have to do a little bit more digging to get you that info, but I'm happy to do my best to find it.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Can you please tell me a little bit about Article 4 of the bargaining agreement indicates that today you addressed the union dues, but the union dues, they are extracted directly from the paychecks. Am I correct? I think SEIU is one union that automatically does that. Am I correct?
They should be, yes. I know that,
Okay.
and again, I would have to pull my member service people in, but they have to go through the PeopleSoft system, and sometimes they don't always talk or play well together. So in general, yes, they are supposed to be deducted automatically from their paychecks.
Okay, and I think too that your union is one that also automatically deducts I think it's called the PAC money.
If it's
the
authorized
Political
by the
Action
member,
Committee
yes.
also, okay, all right, so you also do that as well, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, all right. I just want to make it clear that this is the process that we have. And are there some things that you can suggest that we need to look closer at as it relates to PeopleSoft? I happen to have the department of of the department that actually is concerned with our employees, Department of Human Resources in our committee, so we might be able to make some suggestions if you have something you'd like to
I don't have
share.
any suggestions right here at this meeting, but I do know that there has been a little bit of stickiness on some of the PeopleSoft, so I will definitely have a discussion with my member service people, and I would be happy to get back with you on that.
That would be great. And, I'd be very curious because, not all of the agencies of the district government are indirectly managed through this department. Yet this department is where we all go when we're thinking retirement or how we manage various services. And I just was curious about that. Hopefully, if I get an opportunity to move the agenda where all of our personnel is under one, I'll say one roof, that you'll be able to support that, and that would mean your organization as well.
I will talk with our member services and with Dr. Krosek just to make sure that we're coordinated on what we are asking for.
All right, thank you.
Chair Bonds, if I may, I'm really appreciative of that comment and invitation. I will speak to Vice President Celio, our VP of HR. We're in constant conversation, about, trying to streamline things and make sure that the systems are working and supporting, everyone, including especially our adjuncts. But if he has anything from his perspective, I'll certainly include that as we talk about it, Ms. Drayton and I.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. So I do have a couple more questions. Ms. Drayton, in answering Councilmember Bonds, when she asked about the PAC contribution, you were sort of cut off. Did you say?
I'm sorry. No, I'm looking at Article 4. I did pull up the contract. Yes, we do have co-contributions deducted directly from their paychecks should they elect to do that.
If they elect to do that.
Of course, we do not automatically do that. They have to elect and say that they wish to donate to our PAC.
I thought you were cut off, so I appreciate that clarification.
No problem.
I had, I think, 3 more questions, and they might be more for Mr. Cross or Dr. Krosek. Actually, both of you could answer this. How does the base salary of $1,200 per credit compare to adjunct pay at comparable universities in the metropolitan area?
It's a little lower.
Yeah, I know that you'd be able to, Ms. Drayton would be able to, from knowledge of other SEIU contracts, certainly could identify, real comparisons. You're absolutely right. It's generally a little lower, but I did look at Trinity Washington as an example, which is a recent contract. And I believe that everything for them except clinical nursing is below $1,200.
They would be the one.
That's the one.
And I would like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Scott. I just want to point out the other universities in the area are also private. So
yes.
They have the ability to charge much larger fees to students. And I really feel that UDC, sure, I would like them to pay more, who wouldn't? But I also think that they provide such a wonderful service for the people in the, District of Columbia that, a public university is always important. And it's important that the tuition be kept lower.
So a little lower, what does that mean? Like,
Well,
it's
if you give
1,200
me a
as
second, I'll
opposed
see
to,
if I can pull up my document.
So, well, Chairman Mendelson, if you think about it, Georgetown, I'll use an extreme example. I've actually been an adjunct at Georgetown in the past. And if you're teaching a 3-credit course at Georgetown, the minimum that you can get for that course is $7,000. So that's something in the neighborhood of 20 something per, 2,300 or 400 per credit or something like that, whatever it adds up to. But that's, again, the difference between a private institution of that nature and ourselves. So just consider that might be an extreme. And then as it comes down through your George Washingtons and your others, it may be a little lower, but there's still a gap there, which we certainly understand.
Yeah, I am looking at the numbers right now. It is lower. Trinity is below them. But that said, it's not way out of line, especially now that we've brought the number back up. It's lower than everyone, but it's getting closer to GW's adjunct base rate.
what's GW?
George Washington
No,
University.
what is the rate?
1,500 was the rate in 2024. It might be a little bit higher now.
And I should note that that's 1,200 is the minimum. And it does depend on the discipline. So we try, obviously it graduates up through, depending on business or engineering, they get much better pay than 1,200 per credit. So it is a scale here at UDC, but we wanted to bring everyone up to a better minimum than had been paid in the past.
Should I ask what it has been before this contract for UDC?
Well, I did a little digging, and there has never been an actual minimum. It seemed like there was one listed about 10 years ago, and I looked at what the increases were over about the past decade, and it was right around $1,000 in 2024. So this is really quite an improvement.
Okay, thank you. Is the only change between this CBA and the previous bargaining agreement, this base salary rate?
For the most part, yes.
For
I
the
think
most
we did the good faith consideration. That's in a different section, but that was about it.
Yes.
And adding the continuous service bonus honestly was, I think, really huge. And it's really, we don't have that many of our other universities at all. I think this is the first one that we've gotten in that's been this good of a bonus, and really rewards people for sticking with UDC, for being there a long term. And obviously, as you know your students better, you know them, you do a better job. I'm a former K-12 teacher. I don't pretend to know what it's like at a university, but I do know that the longer you teach in general, really the better you are and the more skills you have.
Article 8, Section E states that, quote, at the start of the 2024 fall semester, the university will have established procedures to ensure that adjunct faculty have regular access to necessary facilities and equipment for instruction after hours, unquote. That was in the previous collective bargaining agreement, and it's in the new one. Have those procedures been established? Is everything copacetic?
I think some of the work has been done. I think there's still a little bit that still needs to be completed.
Dr. Krosick?
Yes, we have made some progress, but I wouldn't say everything's copacetic, that we're still, managing through some of that, because some of the courses run till 9:30 at night. And so many of the service workers are not necessarily around. So part of this is just making sure we align availability of services and individuals who may have to work maybe an odd workday hours to be available to support, let's say, in an IT capacity or something like that. But we have made good strides.
Give me a second. I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you for your time. And maybe I should say thank you for the work you did to get to this contract. But thank you for your time this afternoon
course.
with this.
Thank you.
As I say, I don't have any other questions, so I'm going to close out this hearing. Again, this has been a joint committee hearing roundtable with the Committee on Executive Administration and Labor, chaired by Councilmember Anita Bonds, and the Committee of the Whole, which I chair. The record in this matter will close at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's Tuesday, January 6th, a very quick close for the record, because since we're not hearing any problems with the document, so the council will take this up tomorrow and get it approved sooner than otherwise would be the case. Thank you
That's good to hear.
again.
Thank you.
The
Great.
time
Thank you
is
so much.
5:46 p.m. and this roundtable is adjourned.